If Severino's job was to give the Giants momentum, then give that man a raise. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion. And if the A's are going to get body slammed like they did last night, we're going to talk about it. No sugarcoating, no spin, just facts, frustration, and fire. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button like A's pitchers hit Giants batters last night. Luis Severino lit the match and the Giants poured the gasoline. On today's episode of Locked On A's, we break down the 7-2 loss where Severino once again fell flat. 4 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs, and 3 free passes later, the A's were buried before they could blink. We dive deep into every missed opportunity, including 2 brutal double plays from Tyler Soderstrom, and explain how a promising start turned into a fire drill. From Nick Kurtz' continued emergence to the bullpen's attempt to stop the bleeding. We cover the full arc of a game that quickly spiraled out of control. We also ask the hard question: what's the point of spending $22 million if it buys you disaster? And what does this say about the broader culture inside the clubhouse? Plus, shout outs to JP Sears, Jeffrey Springs, and Jacob Lopez, A's starters who are doing their jobs, something Severino still hasn't figured out. The series is tied at 1, but this loss leaves a mark. We've got raw takes, real accountability, and no excuses. We will walk you inning by inning, swing by swing, and mistake by mistake. This wasn't just a loss. It was a microcosm of everything the A's have been wrestling with all season long. Questionable roster construction, inconsistency at the plate, and starters who dig a grave before the national anthem finishes echoing. Buckle up, because there's a lot to unpack. What's up, guys? Well, this game started off right off the bat, man. Top of the first inning, Severino full count to Mike Yastrzemski. Misses close with an off-speed pitch, and right off the bat, he puts Yastrzemski on first base. And you could tell a little bit, Severino was annoyed right from the beginning. He was annoyed with the umpire's calls. He looked a little bit rattled out there. Calls that were missing. They weren't missed calls by the umpire. Next batter, Elliot Ramos gets drilled in the wrist. 2 on, no one out. And then I'm worried, right? Rafael Devers hits one in the hole. Geloff makes a nice play. We get a fielder's choice for 6, 1 out, first and third. Here we go. Matt Chapman, beat, boom, same thing. Bases loaded, 1 out. And then Jung-Hoo Lee, first pitch, does us a favor and chops into a force play. Muncy to home for the second out. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're going to get out of this inning. Willy Adames is at the plate. Willy Adames hasn't been anything great. Falls behind 2-0. Throws a get-me-over strike. Actually, it was actually a pretty good pitch on the corner. 2-1. And then, boom, line drive, base hit, 2-run single. And the air just seems to goes right out of me. It's like almost a punch to the gut. I knew the game was going to be tough. We're facing Logan Webb. I thought it had to be one of those games where it was 3-2, 2-1. Severino would have to be like he was in Milwaukee, in Seattle. He would need to have that type of outing. And it was a huge game, man. Just because of how good we looked on Friday. And we've had a few of these opportunities where we've had a killer game, and then the next night we just lay an egg. What's up, Master Ball? Every time he goes out to pitch, I feel like his trade value goes down deeper. You're thinking what I'm thinking, man. Soderstrom, we're going to get to Soderstrom in a minute, Johnny Dove. I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. It was almost like a Master Ball. It was almost like a double hit, right? I want to get rid of Soderstrom so bad, but I want his trade value to be up. So yesterday was a critical start for just simply his trade value. And again, he's 2-10 right now, man. 2-10. Bottom of the second, we get a little bit of a flash of life. Nick Kurtz actually 0-2, I believe he was down, smacks a double off the right center field wall. He actually had to go down and get it. It was a hell of a at-bat. Bill, Severino is going to make sure his ERA is yeah, absolutely. That's what it's at right now, man. 5.30. 5.30, Bill. And again, we go to what you're talking about, Johnny Dove. First and second. We have first and third, right? First and third, because Shea Langelier's little swinging bunt puts Kurtz at third, Langelier's at first. We're down 2-0. Soderstrom rolls one over, 4-6-3. Simple as that. Puts us on the board. I'm pumped. But again, no big rally. We go to the top of the third. The Giants tack on. It starts with 2 outs. Same thing. We can't finish the inning. Severino gets who's he get to lead off that inning? He gets Ramos and he gets Devers. Just first 2 guys come up, simple. And then Chapman beats out a chopper to third for an infield single. Okay, fine. No big deal. Still 2 outs, runner on first. Jung-Hoo Lee, clean knock to center field. And Denzel Clark make a little bit of a mistake there, right? He should have threw to second. He tried to gun out Chapman at third. It allowed Lee to advance to second, which ended up being costly. And then Adames, almost exact same scenario as the first inning, except this time it was second and third instead of bases loaded. Again, 2-run single, 4-1 Giants. I'm like, at this point, man, Logan Webb, man, getting 4 runs against Logan Webb just seems like seems like climbing Mount Everest. And you just like right off the bat, you just felt like it was slipping, man. It was the same crap with Severino, walking batters, hitting batters, etc. And Severino survives the fourth, man. He only allowed the 2-run single, 4-1. He got Dominic Smith. He retired Dominic Smith, and here we go to the fourth. Down 4-1. Okay. Elliot Ramos, 107.7 off the bat. 107.7 off the bat. Solo home run to dead center, 5-1. And Severino exits with a line that looks like a crime scene. 4 1/3. 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walk, 2 hit batsmen, 2 Ks, ERA 5.30, record 2-10. And this is what $22 million gets you when you shop desperate. Bullpen comes in, Sean Newcomb, but the bleeding continues. He hits another batter, right? Dominic Smith. Yeah, I agree with you, Bill. Bill, the body language on Soderstrom, and we've been saying that for a while. Soderstrom and Butler. And for a while, I've been just kind of singling out Butler. Hey, Soderstrom's just as bad as Butler, if not worse. But you know what, Bill? Look at their age, too, right? 22 years old for Soderstrom, 24 years old for Butler. Yeah, absolutely. They're professional. They should be acting better, but at the same time, they are what they are. This comes from the front office, and they need to handle these guys, make these guys accountable, and call them out on their crap. Problem is coaches want to be everybody's best friend. So I agree with you, though. Patrick Bailey, double. Then Brett Wisely. I mean, this is the bottom of the order for a Giants team. That's bottom of the order is really bad. Wisely splits the gap with a 2-run double. All of a sudden, 7-1, man. Sterner stabilizes things a little bit. Yeah, he gets out of it, but he got hit hard a little bit too. 6th. Here was the key one, right? Here was the key inning. Butler doubled. Rooker walked. Kurtz doubled. Here we go, right? Langoliers walks. We load the bases. Soderstrom, same thing, man. A guy's fans want to believe in. Rolled into his second double play of the game. This was huge. Raleigh was dead. Game was basically over at that point. I mean, Soderstrom comes through with a big hit. Maybe things get going. We just never could get things going. Our outfield just can't get it done at the dish. I'm sick of it. Yeah, I mean, well, Denzel's actually been doing a lot better than we thought at the dish. That's for sure, Johnny. But as far as our corner outfielders, Soderstrom, Butler wasn't bad. Butler's been okay. Butler's had a decent series so far. Soderstrom's been killing us. Let's be honest. What's up, Jeremiah? You guys are riding high, huh? The Locked On Marlins. 10-2, rooting for the Marlins. Second favorite team to the A's. Man, I love the way the Marlins are playing right now. But hey, Jeremiah, while you guys are having real parties over there at All Marlins, we have therapy sessions over here at Locked On A's. So, excuse us. What's up, Rick? The only way Forrest moves Severino is he eats the rest of the year's deal at left. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, agree with you. 1,000. We're going to have to eat that money no matter what, though, Rick. We're going to have to eat that money because of the grievance with the Major League Players Association. So we have to eat that $11 million without a doubt. No question. That's already a given. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. If they take the next 2 years, you got to remember, Rick, the next 2 years are $22 million next year, and then a player option in 2027. Severino's opting in for that player option. That's for sure. Let me take a quick break, guys. When I come back, let's talk about the rallies wasted. Let's talk about Soderstrom, the slumps we got going on offensively. What are we looking like going forward? See you in a minute. Ever wish your money was as easy to manage as a baseball game without Luis Severino on the mound? Yeah, me too. With Monarch Money, it actually can be. It's like having your own personal GM and pitching coach rolled into one, except instead of fixing a busted rotation, it fixes your finances. Monarch isn't just another budgeting app. It's your financial command center. Every account, investment, expense, and sneaky little subscription you forgot about, all in one place. You are not just tracking dollars, you are building wealth, spotting leaks, and holding yourself accountable. Unlike some people who blame the ballpark for a 5.30 ERA. When I first started using Monarch, I was stunned at how much I was blowing on late night food delivery. It was like realizing Soderstrom had grounded into another double play. You didn't notice until it was too late. Monarch gave me the full picture, helped me plug the holes, and actually gave me control over my financial game plan. So if you are tired of playing from behind financially, download Monarch Money and take back the mound, because unlike some overpriced free agents, Monarch actually performs when it counts. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. What's up, Coach Fonz? Yeah, extending Severino is the real issue. Signing Severino is the issue. Extend some of these young guys. Well, we extended Rooker. We extended Butler. I mean, who else did you want to extend? I don't think there was really anybody else. Shea, maybe? I mean, Shea hit 210 last year. Blade, at the time, I'm thinking, right? Hindsight's 2020. I mean, who else do you extend at the time? You can't really extend Soderstrom. Geloff, not the year he came off. I mean, who do we have out there in the offseason that we could really extend that we didn't extend already? I mean, I think we kind of At the same time, there's a lot of things we don't know, right? Who could we have signed in place of Severino? Was there somebody else? Was there a combination of guys we could have possibly gotten? I said in the offseason I would have liked to overpay for a guy like Matthew Boyd, who's with the Cubs now. So, for example, I believe the Cubs are giving him $2 and $30, I want to say. I would have given Boyd, like $3 and $50, a guy like Nick Pivetta. I would have rather the A's get a combination of guys to add up to that money that Severino was getting. But again, hey, listen, we don't know what was going on in the war room and what was happening there. Again, with regard to Severino's pitching, for the most part, he has been what he has been. At the beginning of the season, though, Coach, we didn't know what Wilson really was. He ended the year last year hitting 250. Going into the season, he didn't have a real good spring training. We couldn't extend Wilson at the beginning of the year before the season even started. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? In the off season before the season started. We can't make those assumptions now. That's easy to do. I really thought this team was capable of scoring a ton of runs, was never crazy about the pitching. We've hit, Johnny, if you look at our hitting statistics, they are in the upper half, top 10 in all of baseball. But we haven't hit when it counts. I'm going to look up the stat today and see how many runners we have left in scoring position compared to the rest of the major leagues. But we had 7 hits last night. There's nothing wrong with that. We were on fire, man. We did great. True. Wilson and Kurtz, maybe. Again, Kurtz wasn't even a major leaguer at the time. I hear you. I understand what you're saying. We had to spend the money. We did. And again, we're not in the war room. We don't know what was going on with phone calls or talks or anything like that. Who knows? Maybe it was just that tough to get somebody over here. But look at a guy like Soderstrom. Soderstrom has not, guys, do you guys realize that after Soderstrom's start, he has not homered in 32 games. Last homer was in game 3 of the 4-game set in Toronto. And before that, he had a long streak of not homering. I mean, Soderstrom was hitting like 350, 13 bombs, 30 RBIs, like 25 games into the season. He has 14 home runs right now. He's hitting 250. He has it 32 games. Approximately 100 at-bats, Soderstrom has not hit a homer. It's nutty. It's nutty. He hit one against Toronto. He hit one in LA. And the one previous to that, his last one, I think, was against the White Sox. It's been that long, man. It's just been crazy with what Soderstrom's been doing. He has been a huge, huge issue with his bat. Wilson, you guys don't realize Wilson's been at a crazy slump. Wilson's 10 for his last 60, guys. That's 167. 10 for his last 60. He'll get it going. I know he will. But again, there's a reason why we haven't been putting together these hits. He hits all home runs in the first month. Remember, he was ahead of Judge. He was leading the major leagues at one point, Master Ball. The craziest thing I've ever seen. Soderstrom's killed the offense, but regardless, we have been hitting, man. We have been hitting. This series alone, if you want to really look at this series, we're not bad. Like, Butler's okay so far, right? 3 for 7. Wilson, 1 for 8. Rooker is actually at this almost same exact pace and where he was last year to what he's at this year. Not a whole lot of difference. He's been fine. Kurtz has been coming through with big hits, man. 3 for 8 in the series, 3 RBIs. He has 2 doubles. He has a home run. He's been awesome, man. Shea's been up and down, 2 for 7 in this series. Soderstrom, 1 for 7 in this series against the Rays. He was 1 for 8. Against the Yankees, he was 1 for 8. Is that for real? Am I saying that? Yeah, 1 for 8 against the Yankees, 1 for 8 against the Rays, 1 for 7 against the Giants, against the Tigers, 3 for 7, which is better. Against the Guardians, he was fine, 5 for 12, which is his last decent series. But you even go back to against the Astros 4-game set, he was 1 for 13. He's been struggling, man. Too much for Sodi playing so close at home. I don't know if I think just Sodi's just 22 years old is the thing, and he just needs to develop. And I thought maybe we just thought too much of Soderstrom to begin with. But Denzel has been a lot better than I thought. Guys, and I've said this from the beginning, so Colby Thomas is not the guy. All right? Colby Thomas is not the guy. He was overmatched in spring training. He struck out a ton in Vegas. And now he's not good. Since he's been up, he is 1 for 10. He is 1 for 10 since he's been up. He's not the guy. He's not the guy. That's for sure. And I know it's early. Give him a chance, all that good stuff. But listen, he struck out a ton in Vegas. Spring training, he wasn't good. Like, I'm not sold on Colby Thomas. The guys that are impressing me, Max Muncy has been impressive, man. Max Muncy has been extremely, extremely good. Everything that comes off his bat is hard. 3 for 8 this series. Against the Rays, he was awesome. 3 for 11 with 2 bombs. He's been awesome. I'm so fresh because I believe in this lineup. You're going insane? Jesus. I've been living insane, Johnny Dove. Oh, my God. Yeah, absolutely. It's been beyond insane, man. And it goes to a deeper issue, which I'm going to cover here in the conclusion, man, which is culture. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But Denzel Clark's been playing all right. Geloff's first series back, 0 for 7, right? Hit the ball hard. His last time at bat, he lined out. He hit the ball 107 off the bat. But Geloff still has something to prove. I mean, 2023 seems like it was 20 years ago right now. Okay? He had an awful 2024. He has something to prove. So this next stretch of games, next 70 games till the end of the year, is huge for Geloff. And I still believe in this team. I'm not done with this team. I'm not starting my off season, like I've said on many occasions, in July. Master weird, huh? First time, hey, I'll be honest with you guys. First time I've ever seen a regular season. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I haven't. A regular season game on a Sunday. And I understand it's holiday weekend, but this, it doesn't really count as today as far as a baseball schedule goes, is what I mean. At 7:05. I've never seen that. Basketball, I assume it has to do with the heat, but it's pretty darn nice in Sacramento. I'm with you. 7:05 start. That's a trip on a Sunday. That's really, really, really weird. I agree with you there. But Jacob Lopez on the hill today. Today is a game that is winnable, right? Jacob Lopez against Hayden Bursong. I like our chances in that one. This is a game I expect us to win. Jacob Lopez has been pitching great. I love the fuego in Muncy's eyes, even as a young prospect. He always gives, yeah, I'm with you. He has a nice maturity about himself for being 22 years old. Jacob Lopez last outing against, which is probably worse in a while, against Tampa, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. The outing before against the Tigers, 7 innings, 3 hits, 6 Ks. Before that, against the Guardians. Against the Astros, he was awesome. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. against the Royals. 6 innings, 3 hits, 9 Ks. Again, he has been freaking awesome. The last game on Sunday is always the ESPN game. I know we're not the it's usually, and that usually starts at 4:30, guys. That usually starts at 4:30. But what I want to do here, so I'm going to be here for post game today, obviously, and yes, Vegas, I remember that. Good call again. He's won his last 5 outings for sure. I expect them to get birdsong. I want this game bad today, guys. I want this game bad. And I'm going to get right after this what I mean with regard to culture. What do I mean with regard to culture? I'll see you in literally 2 seconds. Culture in baseball isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation. It's what shows up when the talent runs dry, when the injuries pile up, and when the season feels longer than your patience. A winning culture breeds accountability, toughness, and pride. It demands that players grind even when the odds are stacked against them. And when a team doesn't have that kind of internal fire, everything unravels, from effort on the field to belief in the clubhouse. Culture is what separates the team who competes from the ones who collapse. When Luis Severino steps up after another implosion and blames the stadium or the mound or the backdrop or the grass color, it's more than just excuse making. It's poison. Not just because it deflects responsibility, but because it gives everyone around him an easy out, a built-in excuse not to push harder, not to get better. And when you have younger players looking up to veterans, those kind of comments send the exact wrong message. Instead of digging deeper and owning the results, it teaches them to blame the conditions. It's soft and worse, it's contagious. Now, contrast that with the average working person, the guy who wakes up at 5 a.m. to swing a hammer in 100-degree heat, the single mom juggling 2 jobs in a broken down office, the grocery clerk standing for 10 hours under fluorescent lights for near minimum wage. They don't get to complain about conditions. They show up, they do the work because they have no choice. And they sure as hell don't get paid $22 million to do it. So when a major leaguer gripes about the ballpark like he's stuck in some medieval torture chamber, it's tone deaf at best and disgraceful at worst. The working man has shown up since the beginning of time in far worse conditions than Severino ever had to pitch in. They showed up no matter what the surroundings were because they have done it for something much bigger than themselves. That's what culture is. It's loyalty without guarantees. And now you have a $22 million man making excuses for his surroundings, and you have some in the media who support that? That's just not disappointing. It's infuriating. What makes it worse is that this isn't isolated. It reflects a broader rot that's been allowed to take root. When you don't have leaders in the clubhouse, when no one stands up and says, that's not how we do things here, then those little excuses start to sound normal. And when normal becomes finger pointing becomes losing every single night. That's the death of a competitive culture. And it starts not with the roster, but with the mindset. So here's the truth. Sure, talent wins you games, but culture keeps you from quitting. Culture is why a team with less payroll can beat the Yankees in a postseason series. Culture is why a bench player takes a charge in basketball. Culture is why a third-string catcher sprints down a line in a game you're losing by 6. And culture is exactly what the A's don't have when their highest-paid pitcher shrugs off a brutal outing by blaming the walls around him. Start respecting the grind every single person around you lives in every day. And maybe, just maybe, pitch like it matters. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.